coming up for them. And I'm curious how they'll react when the new Bayimba comes back. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Faisal. You don't know how somebody just sent a message and says, you don't know how important this program is to me right now. I'm learning something that Richard has just said has tickled somebody. And he said, you don't know how much I've just picked from Richard in that small space. I've always seen him on stage just making us laugh. I didn't know the man can speak too much sense.
I don't know whether to take that as a compliment.
I think you should take that as a compliment. You see, Richard, we're going to take a break, but when you come back, we're going to start from that particular point of where people just see you on stage and assume that this is the sum total of the person. And they never know that this person there's more to this person. Well, the creative industry is going for a break, and when we come back, Richard Chiwanje and of course Faisal Chiwewa all the way in Belgium will be giving us a lot bit more about the differences between, you know, the creativity and innovation. These two words are always, you know, confused. And you stay right there, pick a coffee, and when we come back, we want to hear your kisses and disses. If you have some kisses, if you don't have, you know, disses, whatever it is, we're okay. The Creative Ministry Talk will be right back after the break. Welcome back from that break. This is Creative Industry Talk, where we sit and discuss things that affect the industry where we are. It's a platform that exists for everyone in the creative space to think. It's a platform that we come together to share ideas. There's a platform that we believe can bring together the creators and of course the policymakers on the round table to think and to come up with, you know, very integrative mind maps that allows us to take the industry and the development around our country and our individual projects forward. Of course, Richard, welcome back to the show. And of course, Faisal Chiwewa all the way in Belgium. We are missing, you know, Jeremy Bemanzi from the advertising sector. We would have had a fantastic moment with him right there. And we hope that Jeremy will be here next week. We think that this series of having Richard and Jeremy coming in and Faisal will run for the next 2 weeks. So if you're missing this one, Richard will be back next week. But we want to hear from you. I'll start by a comment from one Frank Tugume says, I'm always glad to be here. Oh. And a shout out to Richard on the show and as well Faisal. And he says, I don't know how you guys are doing it, but Facebook is off in Uganda, but the show is on. And Faisal just
we are not in Uganda.
Yes, Faisal just gave him a tip on that one of what is going on. Well, Richard, welcome back to the program. I want to take you straight to, there is this, you know, thinking Ugandans usually have, or generally, you know, people always think that they see you on stage and they form an opinion about you.
Yeah.
And most times, because we are not being like politicians or sitting and, you know, wearing good ties and something like this, people assume that these are just funny guys. Even the president has said, this is these funny people before. But until, I mean, your colleague Annington Mujingo, they said you're seated here and then he met the president and the president said, I was told you have a lot of money. You are rich. Then he says, no, I just have enough for me. But he says, you funny people, where do you get money from? It's just an understanding that people don't have around people. But what's your thought on that one? How do we help people to start seeing that we're actually more serious people than they think we are?
You know, first, I think the people who have that kind of mindset, you know, the mind is a very funny place. What you expose is what, you know, they take and they expound on that. Yes. You know, it will never end on the stage. So they see Richard acting a school child, they see Richard acting a headmaster, then tomorrow the other show you are a drunkard, you know. You know, they put you in there, they paint a picture of who Richard is, off the stage. And that picture will never be very far from the picture they see here, because you have given them the first brick to build their image of you. So, me, personally, if I tell you my experiences as an artist and the creative who applies my creativity in different spaces, because I do professional emceeing for events of different sizes and shapes. Yes. But I know people who tell me when I get a gig, for example, they tell me, you know, it was a process getting zeroing down to you as because the bosses were like,
wanted this person here.
And we told them, this
gentleman
will nail it the way we want it. And it's like, but this guy, man, the kind of comedy he does, will he handle this very corporate event? And we see him have like they throw around lines like, sio nazanyango mwana. Sio nazanyanga batamivu. This kind of event. Because because you see, certain events I handle they're multinational. The audiences are not just Ugandan. You know, and that goes down. It brings another issue, and all of us artists and creatives in Uganda have been victims of our own
creativity.
That is one, but also not working on our personal brands. It's just recently that we started working on our personal brands with the help of social media. You know, people get to know the Richard Tuwanje, separated from the actor, the comedian, the entertainer. So I think it's now, you need to work on your personal brand. That is a given. There are no two ways about it, especially if your money, especially if you want to start earning while you're not performing. Because we are in a time where you need to earn while you're not performing. Because we've tested months where now there's no performance.
1.5 years were.
And believe me, the talents in this city who have worked on their personal brands, and their personal brands speak for their personal brands work up a value for them, they still somehow survive compared to those whose brand they know is just on stage, on stage presence. Because then you limit yourself to a talent that only earns per performance. And if you get that and expound on it, build a personal brand, apply your talents elsewhere, or even learn, because a lot of people have talents in this city, but they don't skill the talent. That's another thing. Then also separating the talent from his personality. Also in our audience, because we can never not think about the audience. The audience
is where the money is, where the business is. That's where things come from. It's your product.
In better societies, they know how to tell apart the talent and the personality, because the audiences also have a high understanding now of the arts. Here,
it's different.
Here is different. The audience is still in its infancy on that point. We are still pulling them up to consider the arts a legitimate source of livelihood
and revenue.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, another one has come here and says, I like what Richard is saying. This is now giving us an insight into who he is and what this is about. Thank you very much, Richard. You've changed my opinion of you on this show. I was wondering how you're going to discuss this topic, which seems to be a little bit more of a corporate side of things.
Are you serious?
Faizo Chiwewa, we want to dive to you. They see you with your backpack all the time moving. They don't know you are a person who creates serious stuff. Right now you are in Belgium, while others are in lockdown in Uganda. How are you doing it?
It's the perfect example, by the way.
Faizo, over to you.
I mean, I was just laughing about the comment on Richard, because I find it fascinating. And of course, I mean, you don't, our followers or fans, because for them, as Richard explained,